Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a mini episode of Attitudes with Andy. Whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or whatever listening platform, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't done so already, please press the subscribe or the follow button. That truly helps this podcast grow. And that's about it. Sit back, relax, because today we are talking about the journey to success. So I'm assuming you guys are listening or watching this because you're like me and you're pretty ambitious and you're like, yeah, I got big goals I'm going to freaking crush. And I love that for you. I really do. And something that I was getting extremely caught up with when I first started my podcast, or even like a few months ago, was I just kept looking at the data and the growth. And whilst like it's been growing and there's hundreds of you listening and it's crazy and it warms my heart, I was like, oh, it's not going quick enough. Like, you know, how can I grow more? And I was being kind of like unhealthily obsessive. And I think you should always look to improve. But at the same time, it was kind of making the journey miserable, right? Because I was like, oh, when I have X amount of listeners, X amount of followers, then I'm going to be satisfied. And luckily, we've flipped the switch, okay? And what I have been realizing from listening to a bunch of podcasts and reading books from successful people is that when they reach their like pinnacle of success, whether it's $100 million, whether it's 2 million followers, whatever it is, they always say that it's actually not as satisfying or as fulfilling as you think it is. Like it actually kind of, the numbers, whether it's in the bank or online, just kind of don't really matter. And I was kind of like, wow, that's crazy. I'm like, what? So you reach the top of the mountain and the view isn't even that great. That's wild. And what they spoke about afterwards though really shifted things for me. And what they said was that they look back on their journey of building and getting to where they are, and they look back on the journey and say that that was like their favorite bit, that the grinding and the hustling and the figuring it out and the eating shit and all of that was the highlight of their journey. So if you're like me and you are just getting started on your journey, you know, like you are just getting started. Like you've been on this journey, but you know that you are going to achieve your wildest dreams and you know you're only just getting started. Know that you're in this car and you're on the best bit of your journey. And I don't know whether that comforts you or not, but that hugely comforted me actually. Because I was like, cool. I'm going to look back at this period of my life and be jealous of this Andy. What? Isn't that so cool? So that has really shifted things, and I've really stopped looking so much at the data and stopped kind of focusing on the numbers and more just focusing on the journey, focusing on putting in the work, making sure I have quality episodes and all of the things I can control so that hopefully the followers and the listeners will come. But like you guys already are coming, and I don't need to try and obsess over that. Instead, I'm going to enjoy the journey and enjoy the moments of complete gratitude and the moments of confusion and the moments of when I don't want to edit or I don't want to record and the moments when I certainly do. Like today, I was like, I can't wait to record. And all of the bits in between, the guests who pull out, the big guests who say yes. Like I've recorded some of the moments of when guests say yes and I'm like, like me just dancing, just celebrating. And so I really encourage you, wherever you are in your stage, to just kind of appreciate it and know that future you is going to look back on this and be like, yeah, she did that or he did that. They worked hard. I'm proud of them. And know that when you do hit your goals, you're probably not going to be satisfied. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think it's just highlighting that instead of being like, okay, I'm going to be happy when I get the million, when I get the house, when I get the girl or the guy, whatever. It's more being like, I'm going to be happy now I'm going to be satisfied now and I'm going to be fulfilled now, where I don't need to actually hit my goal. Even though I'm doing all the things to hit my goals, I'm doing all the actions. If I don't hit that, I am still happy and I've still lived an amazing life, okay? Because I think that's where people fall into the trap, from my research anyway, is where they go like, I'm going to put off my happiness for this thing. And then they get the thing and they're like, oh, that wasn't worth it. I should have just been happy with what I had. Anyway, so I hope maybe this has given you some insight to appreciate more where you are and to kind of say less things like, oh, I can't wait to be there, or when I'm there, it's going to be so much better, because where I am now is literally where I would have dreamed about being a year ago. And yet sometimes I can catch myself being like, oh, I can't wait till I'm over there, instead of being like, gee, I really am where I dreamed I would be last year. And I know in a year's time, I'll probably, maybe, hopefully rewatch this video and be like, oh, bless her cotton socks. That's where she was. Oh, bless, look where she's now. So I encourage you, appreciate the journey. Know that you are literally living the best bit right now, and to just enjoy it, because you're never, ever going to get this moment back. And I know that sounds cliche, but literally all we have is right now together, you and me. Yeah, baby. And so appreciate it all. You will get to where you want to be, but be happy now. And that's everything. Thank you for listening. If you guys do want more motivational or positive content, feel free to check out my Instagram page. It's at andy.bentley_. Go check out the podcast Instagram that has really good reels, if I do say so myself. It's Attitudes with Andy. Don't know why I said that so weird. Attitudes with Andy. And yeah, if you guys got something from this, please feel free to screenshot it, put it on your story and share it, as that really does help support the channel. And I'll see you guys next week for another episode. Okay, bye.